really tell that we're getting closer and closer to this massive dump because we have vultures, full of vultures over here. They don't want you to see this. This is the closest that we can get. Most of the people skip the capital, and from my perspective, Guatemala City is the best place to start exploring Guatemala. There's police pretty much everywhere. I have the police right now looking at me, tourism police, and they just want to make sure everything is fine. But something very common, even when you go to a bank or when you go to a shop, you have the police outside just to protect the place and to protect the people. When you're in Guatemala City, you see trees everywhere. Guatemala actually means el país de los árboles, the country of the trees. This is the 13th and 14th district, more residential places, embassies. My hotel is the district number 10. You can see more hotels and offices and all that stuff. But we're gonna explore different districts today in Guatemala City so you can get a flavor of the different places. 20 years ago, this area was very dangerous. There was drug dealers, thieves and prostitution and those kind of things.
Here we are in 4 Grados Norte. This is like the hipster area of Guatemala City. In Guatemala, usually we have like a early breakfast. So around 10 a.m. you already feel hungry again. So you want something like a little snack before lunch.
Muy bueno. So I found a place that looks very interesting. A real coffee from Guatemala, because sometimes the credit is taken by some of the European countries like Italy and France and all that, but the reality is that those guys, they don't really have coffee. The coffee comes from all these places.
Well, here in Guatemala we grow so great coffee. I mean, people all around the world enjoy it, but unfortunately we don't have like a great culture about coffee because we'll kill it, because either we have like instant coffee or with regular coffee we kill it with sugar. Why? Because people want the high, like the rush, you know, like to feel more energetic and more quickly. Also, people like to have a latte or cappuccino, but again, that's killing the really essence of the coffee.
It's warm. Is it literally like coming directly from the goat, or
yeah?
This is not refined?
No, it was straight from the goat.
No way, like literally. They were milking the goats?
Yeah.
Wow. It's it's very creamy. Let me drink some coffee. You have a lot of lorries on the street, and most of these lorries, they have the driver, but they also have private security with them, or police with them. Even the Coca-Cola lorry with private security. You just see private security or police everywhere here, everywhere. Right, so here we are in the cemetery, very close to the cemetery. There's like a big dump, all the rubbish. This is a very sensitive area. You cannot even get close to that area.
Las lápidas, ¿cuánto cuestan?
600.
600.
600.
¿Y eso cuánto es en dólares?
Como 80.
80 dólares.
Ajá.
80. Y esto es lo que usted decía que la gente se roba a veces.
Sí, así como esta, mire, pues esta ya la quitó la gente porque ya cumplió 14 años. Ya los que trabajan aquí adentro, obviamente ya saben de qué es lo que se hace. Entonces esto es, esa ya no le sirve, me la dan.
Claro. O esto también se puede revender, ¿no? O sea,
sí, ajá. Entonces ya
hay como un mercado negro con las lápidas, como que
sí,
se vende.
como un mercado negro, así, algo así, ajá.
You can see here the gravestones, the flowers, just random numbers that they put here to identify the dead. Also, you can really tell that we're getting closer and closer to this massive dump because we have vultures, full of vultures over here. If you can see on my back, see over here. And this is an area where they don't want you to see this. This is the closest that we can get. Now we're officially in the first district, or Zona 1. Usted dice bueno, bonito y barato.
Bueno, bonito, los 3B.
¿A cuánto vende esto?
700.
700.
Ajá. Como $100.
Como $100.
Sí.
¿Usted lo pinta todo?
Ya los pinto.
Qué bien, ¿eh? Muy bueno. So let's explore the central market. First things first, the magic happens here. Locals, they really eat here. What you see here is called Jamaica. This is a common drink. Something very, very cool, very interesting. This is called tamales, which is like corn. You just unpack this and you just eat the corn. And they also have tortillas here, like more like Mexican tortillas. From Guatemala, because they also have tortillas. Both countries, they have tortillas.
Pepián basically is a stew, and the pepián is this, the sauce, and meat and some vegetables. Here we have several stews: pepián, jocón, subanic, caquic, revolcado, hilachas. Which makes the difference is the sauce.
You can eat the corn like this, or you can dip it in this sauce, in the pepián, ¿no? Esto se pone en la salsa, ¿no?
Sí.
El tamal. No se come solo el tamal.
No, depende con la comida.
Con la comida, o sea, lo podemos poner en la salsa un poquito y ahora lo probamos. This is delicious. Delicious, I love it. We have this in the north of Argentina as well, but we don't dip it in the sauce. You just eat it like that. And it's more yellow, here it's more white.
We just paid about $5 for a stew, a spaghetti, tortillas, tamales, and a couple of drinks.
We have the Presidential Palace, very sensitive square in Guatemala. This is a place where people do protests, manifestations, all the stuff like that. But they also come for some celebrations. This is the old town as well. It's incredible how much police you can see here, pretty much everywhere. Well, Gustavo was telling me that 10 years ago this was very, very dangerous, and the police, the local police, just rescued this area. Until today, obviously you have a lot of police just making sure everyone is safe. What I like as well is that most of these shops, they always have this kind of bachata, cumbia, salsa. There's a lot about the local people, about the people of the Guatemala city. This is a final spot of the day. This is district number 15 or Zona 15. Very wealthy area, very residential. Most of the houses have this barbed wire. For example, this one. But it's very, very common. Like pretty much every house actually. Pretty interesting to see the contrast of Guatemala City. And obviously there's areas where you cannot go, like there's what they call asentamientos. Some of these areas are controlled by maras and they know everyone. Do you feel safe right now? Do you think this has improved over the years? Maybe do you have some examples? How was everything back in the days?
Well, right now at the moment we're in a nice neighborhood, so we are completely fine. But in general, Guatemala City is another big city in the world. There are nice zones and there are areas where you have to be more cautious. Now, we have to be honest, and back in 2008 and between also 2012, in Guatemala City there was a huge chance for you to get robbed by a motorcycle during the traffic lights. It was so common that someone get next to your car, knock your window violently, and they show you the gun, you know, the weapon, and ask you for your cell phone, for your wallet. There was even a time it was so paranoid that people start to like shade their windows and also start to buy mannequins and place them inside the cars. So then the people who were in the motorcycles will have a second thought before invading, knocking the window of a car with either one passenger or one with 3 passengers. Although 2 might be mannequins, but at the end it was to distract the thief.
So literally you had kind of fake people in your car to tell the thieves, hey, don't come here.
Yeah, like try to there's a lot of people in that car, so let's avoid it. That was maybe around 2010, 2011 when it was the worst. But then we have election, we have new president, and he started to invest more and more in security. So now, fortunately, we can drive safely in the streets of Guatemala City without the fear of someone, knocking out our door, asking for a cell phone, and doesn't give it back.
And it's interesting because definitely you improved a lot in terms of safety. But even today, we saw every single shop you had like a police or private security. Why is that?
Well, here you can find it in any like business. Even when you see the sodas trucks taking the sodas to the shops, you can see the driver being accompanied with a guard. That's because again there was a lot, back in the time it was a huge chance for people to get robbed. But now also it's because of the insurance company, because if they see you have a guard, then they reduce your fee.
Your premium.
Exactly. Yeah. So it's
Interesting.
also like to save a little bit of money.
So overall today you feel safe in Guatemala City?
I do. Yeah. I mean, again, maybe there's some neighborhoods you have to be more cautious, but in general, I do feel safe.
And this, especially these asentamientos, right? That's
That's like the most dangerous areas. We call them zonas rojas, you know, like a red zone.
Yeah.
Basically, they are like favelas.
Yeah. So in those ones you just probably need to go
Avoid
with a
them.
local or
Be-
avoid them.
Yeah, because they are controlled by the gangs. So yeah, you can negotiate with that people, unfortunately.
All right, so as you can see, I don't think I need to tell you much more about safety and all these kind of things. Like Gustavo, local, born and raised in Guatemala City, he was explaining you about the situation here. But I have to agree with everything he said, because literally every shop I entered today, there was a police, there was a private security guy, literally even in pharmacies, like any place you can imagine. And the most interesting, like hard to understand for me, was this one, like lorries on the street, like just driving, like Coca-Cola lorry, like with a private security guy or with the police, because they can be stolen, and obviously the insurance is going to be cheaper for you at the end. The premium is going to be lower, as Gustavo was explaining. But that was probably something I never seen before, like these lorries with private security. Because obviously in Argentina and in other countries we have it, but that's only in the case they go to the bank or they transport money. So that was really, really interesting to see today. But in general, I felt safe today. I think we covered a big bunch of places, from wealthy areas, more humble neighborhoods, markets, the downtown, which we were very close to a lot of people, so we had a lot of eyes on us because of the cameras and all these kind of things. I felt safe, but it's important, I think, like in any other city, particularly in Latin America, you just need to have eyes everywhere, pay attention, and then you will be all right. Anyway, it's been a very long day, and tomorrow we're going to another place, which hopefully you will like it very much. That's all from me. Thank you so much for watching, and see you in the next one.